All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight we're going to hop into the way too early predictions for the 2022/2023 NBA Championship. Before we do that, make sure you smash that subscribe button for us. We're trying to grow our channel and family. And as always, we appreciate you hitting us up in the comments, letting us know what you want us to talk about, or letting us know if you think we're crazy, like Dave did this past week, saying that the Dogs are going undefeated next season in college football, when we were talking about our over-unders in the SEC wins.
Nope.
So, I agree.
Nope.
But
sorry, dude.
just because we disagree with you doesn't mean we don't appreciate your opinion and playing around with us. So
yeah,
we do appreciate it. So, all right, let's hop into it. NBA, way too early, championship. We did an interesting thing last year. We did this video, really got blown up. We always love the people that interacted with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
They said Alex was the only one that actually had a damn shot at this thing. Shot in the blue, went off with Boston.
The man who doesn't watch the NBA knows nothing about the
NBA.
NBA.
Yeah, doesn't even sit in on half the NBA videos over here, getting way too early. And so I'll go ahead and say Adam has presented his way too early. He wants to ride with Boston. He thinks that Boston is going to take care of their needs, come back as a veteran team next year, having lost.
So what's Boston's free agent market looking like? Their picture?
Yeah, it's not very open for them to make a whole lot of changes in their team.
Who could potentially walk away?
I don't think Jaylen Brown's not up for contract.
Yeah, I don't think anybody that can physically.
So they're not. At the moment, they shouldn't really be losing much of anything.
They shouldn't really be losing much of anything, and they. I mean, it's just you got a year older. For the three main guys, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, that's a year of experience.
Yeah, they're
for a guy like Al Horford, you're talking about somebody who's now 36, 37, 38.
Like 16, 18, 16, 17th year in the league. Yeah.
So that's probably not great for him as the big man. But, I'm just I'm stuck feeling about Boston the same way I think people felt about Oklahoma City when they lost to Miami. They were like, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook,
they're going to bounce back.
They're going to bounce back. They're young. They're going to be competing with Miami going forward. And you just never saw them again.
No.
And of course Harden wanted out. It's kind of the same way Jaylen Brown might eventually want out and get traded to be a
That was the big argument with this Boston team was this their 1 year to shine? Are they going to be able to repeat it next year? Because, I mean, truth be told, the East is only going to get stronger with if Philly finds something to match up with Joel Embiid
and Harden.
I mean, Philly's going to be solid. Milwaukee's still got a solid team. They were crippled in the playoffs without having Chris Middleton, their big shooter.
Yeah.
So it was all on Giannis, which Giannis took them to the semis, but and ultimately lost to Boston in 7 games. But Miami's still a solid team if they can rebound and get healthy again, because they were hurt throughout the playoff run, as you know. So I mean, I think this year for Boston, everything just kind of lined up in their favor to be able to make the run that they did. I'm not taking anything away from them. I think they're a solid team. I think they're a really good team. They'll be back next year in the playoffs. They'll be probably a top 4 seed next year in the playoffs, somewhere in that 1 to 4 range.
Yeah.
But I think this year was just the year that they kind of everything just kind of lined up for them, and they had the right players healthy at the right time to be able to make those runs. So I personally, next year coming out of the East, I see it being maybe Milwaukee, maybe Philly gets over that hump if they can get somebody to go with Joel Embiid and James Harden.
Yeah.
So that's even if they signed Harden. So they haven't made a decision on Harden yet. So that was the only problem with trading Ben Simmons away for Harden is they don't have Harden tied up. They had Ben Simmons tied up.
Yeah.
So that's the issue. But I think Boston will be a solid team next year. I don't think they're going to repeat though. I don't think they're going to go back to the finals. I think the East is going to get healthy, and it's going to be a tougher road next year.
I wholeheartedly agree with you in the sense of Boston, and I say the same thing for the Warriors, because when you watch these NBA, yes, the Warriors have been in there, LeBron's been in there. I think we're getting to a phase now, 3 years down the road, where you're not seeing the teams that were in it the previous year being able to make it back, whether that's experience, health, just general tiredness, whatever it is. And so next year, I don't really predict or want to see, and I don't think you will see Boston and Golden State in the finals. So From the Eastern side, it's kind of hard. I agree with you with Philly. I think Miami can make a move this offseason with just a little bit of cap to go find just another role player to push them over. Yeah. So, I mean, don't even get me started on John Sasson. But, could be Miami, could be Philly, maybe Toronto finds a way to get a superstar in there. I'm fading Brooklyn. I actually think that I'm going to start fading Brooklyn.
I heard a very interesting point today on the radio as I was driving to my parents' house. Kyrie's kind of up in the air what he wants to do right now.
Yeah.
So if Brooklyn loses Kyrie, I think KD will opt out and want to go somewhere else because there won't be anything else in Brooklyn for him because the team. I mean, Ben Simmons can't score.
Is KD gonna be the next Shaq that just plays for almost every team in the league?
Probably.
Everybody wanted Shaq. I don't think everybody's gonna want KD.
Nobody's gonna. I mean, people are still gonna want a 34-year-old KD.
I mean, he's a scorer.
But he doesn't play defense like he used to. He doesn't. He's like you said. He's a scorer. So Kyrie's actually been rumored right now to either go to the Knicks, to the Mavs, or even to the Lakers. The Lakers, I don't think can do it because they don't have the cap space.
Well, no one's going to get rid of Russell Westbrook.
No one's going to take the Russell Westbrook contract. No one's going to take Russell Westbrook in general.
Not without an absolute buttload of draft picks.
So the best option that the Lakers would have to get Kyrie away from Brooklyn because Kyrie's actually on a $36 million player option right now.
Yeah.
So he would have to opt into his contract with Brooklyn, and then the Lakers, the best shot to get him would be trading AD. And they're not going to trade AD, even though I think they should trade AD to try to build the team back up again because LeBron scorched that team.
LeBron's going to walk, though. I mean, that's the problem with the Lakers. Probably need to just suck it up for the next year, let LeBron walk, and then nuke the team and start over. But,
so what you're saying, LeBron's going to try to get out of his contract early and be gone before next year?
I think not this coming season, but the following year. Yeah,
he's got 1 year left. Yeah,
he's got this 1 year.
$45 million.
So I thought he had 2 contract years left.
No, he's got 1 year. He's got an
option. Oh no, that's not previous view. We're talking about to play with his son. He'd have to take the option and extend.
He'd have to play for another 3 years to play with Bronny, right?
Yeah.
He'd have to have he'd have to play this year, next year.
He'd have to play this upcoming year, the next year.
Yeah, so it'd be 3 years.
His third season would be the one with Bronny.
Yeah. The third season from right now would be with Bronny.
Yep.
Wherever Bronny goes.
Yep.
So it's going to be wherever LeBron tells his GM to draft him out.
Exactly. It's going to be wherever he goes. I guarantee you that douchebag's going to go back to Cleveland and they're going to draft Bronny. And they're going to try to make Bronny the face of Cleveland.
That's going to be LeBron's retirement tour. Him and his son.
Back in Cleveland again.
Yeah.
It's just like our Pujols going back to the damn Cardinals for the last year.
Hey, that's a good thing.
That's a good
thing.
It's not his third stint with the Cardinals, okay?
Yeah.
It's second stint.
But it's still a farewell tour. But anyway, this is NBA, so let's get back on the NBA.
Well, I'll say this. I will fade Brooklyn next year. I think the nucleus of that team is falling apart. I'm with you. I think Kyrie and KD clearly aren't working the way they wanted to when they came together for the super team there. And
they all thought it was Harden, and apparently it's Kyrie.
Yeah.
So
it's 3 mentally unstable guys.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
I shouldn't say mentally unstable. 3 guys that don't play nice with each other, or the
very big egos.
Yeah,
put it that way.
So I'm actually buying into Cleveland. I don't think you'll
Cleveland's
see Cleveland.
Got a solid nucleus right now. They got a solid core.
I don't think you'll see Cleveland as a 9 seed. I think you could see Cleveland as a 4 or 5 seed. And so
I don't know if I go that high. I would see him around like that 6 to 7.
Does anybody see what's going to happen here?
What?
Cleveland's going to finish well next year and be a 4 or higher seed.
Yeah.
And LeBron's
going to go to Cleveland.
Yeah, probably.
And probably blow it up.
It would surprise me. I mean, to get a better player like him.
That man's gone, he's blowing up the team. So go ahead and do it again.
Yeah.
Well,
but Dan Gilbert's
have you gotten your...
No, that was kind of the point of the East that I wanted to make. So,
okay.
Did you want to say something about the East?
I mean, what I'm going to say is just going to be my way too early one team. I'm giving the one shot and done kind of thing.
On the winner or just the winner of the East?
Well, the winner of the East will be the winner.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to go with the Bucks.
Ooh.
I like it.
Okay.
The key part is going to be the healthy, though. But I think Giannis and
Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
It really hurt them this year to lose Middleton in that first game of the playoffs. I mean.
And you could see, this year was like the most NBA I've watched in, I think all of my life combined.
You watched 2 playoff games with me.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
This
what I
year,
said.
this year I watched more games. We were watching that one Dallas game where Luka won by 50 points.
Oh, sorry, you watched 3.
No, he watched another one, yeah, because
you watched 3.
He
He watched Luka drop 40 on Phoenix.
Yeah.
He watched the Boston
in the first half.
Boston and Bucks.
Yep.
And then he watched
Yeah.
Miami and Boston.
But watching the couple of games I did watch with the Bucks and the highlights, like it just looked like Giannis was like he was doing everything he could to carry the team and still was carrying them enough. Like,
I mean,
he was doing above and beyond. So like getting Middleton back, if everybody stays healthy, I think they can make a good run and win it all.
I think the one thing the Bucks need to work on this offseason is finding, and they got Dante DiVincenzo, but they need to find themselves an elite 3-point shooter. They need to go find a Ray Allen style, like not that they're ever
somebody that's just staying out there at the point.
Yeah, but somebody that's a shooter.
Somebody come in off the bench and just take shots.
Exactly, and when he's on the floor with Giannis, you have someone in the corner that the defense has to respect and can't just close every lane to stop Giannis from driving to the basket.
Yeah.
So there needs to be something because Chris Middleton is kind of a slasher too. Like he's not a shooter. He's not a pull-up guy.
He's their shooter though. I mean, he is their shooter.
He is, but they need somebody better.
But he's not a shooter in the sense
you put
of
another person in there
definition.
with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
That can take some heat off of Middleton, take some heat off of Giannis, opens the floor up like you're saying. You have the ability to slash, or you have the ability to pull up and shoot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you need a Tyler Hero, a Wayne Ellington, somebody that can,
hell, even a Gordon Hayward.
Even a Gordon Hayward.
Which
see what he does.
They're trying to trade him off so they can lock up Miles Bridges.
Yeah. So I mean, somebody that can step in the corner and shoot for them, but it's really not a bad pick. I mean, to get back a year,
Walker's a solid pick.
2 years later, so. I've been just kind of curious. I think for me, the one thing, and this is why I love doing the way too early, because what we say may not matter ultimately when all the free agents starts happening. But I'm really interested to see what happens with Dame at Portland. Can he get traded? Where does he go? Who gets him?
The problem is he doesn't want to be traded though, unless he's come out recently and said that he wanted to be traded.
Well, he wants them to build a team up.
Prior to this, right? he said I don't want to go anywhere because he had the ability to go, and he never wanted to leave.
Yeah, but who is Portland going to bring in? I mean, Portland has to basically nuke it to get him some type of help. And so you're talking about a team that went 27-55 this past year. I mean, they're going to have to add a superstar or two to get themselves in a position, right? Yeah. So I'm interested in the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Jamal Murray wasn't healthy this year. He didn't play the whole season. This is a guy that's averaging 22 points to go along with the Joker. So, could Jamal Murray get completely healthy and be the same person? Can they add somebody in free agency, right? Does Dame or Kyrie come to Denver? Could that be, a pairing? Could Kevin Durant come to Denver, right? And all of a sudden you got Jamal Murray, Kevin Durant, and the Joker. Like, that would be a really good team to put together. I think they'd make a run. So I do think there's going to be a sleeper team that was really bad this year that makes a couple moves, or even in the kind of the middle ground like a Chicago or a Denver, that can make a couple moves and go from being a 6 seed or a 10 seed to being a 2 or 3 seed next year.
I really like, out of the West, I really like if Dallas, I know they already made a move, but if they can make another move or bring even a Kyrie in to play with Luka, I mean that's gonna put Dallas
in really good position.
That's gonna put them in a very good position. I mean, I think Golden State's still gonna be solid again next year. They've still got that talent, and they get their big man back next year, and Wiseman coming back, so they'll actually have a presence down low.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, Steph's still going to be Steph. Steph's going to pull up and shoot everything. My question with Golden State is do they go ahead and try to move on from Clay while they can actually still get something for him? Because that's also been an argument. Can they move on from Clay and get something for him while he's still quote unquote in his prime?
Or would they try to get rid of Draymond? Because I've heard he's been kind of an issue in the locker room lately.
Draymond. So the way that I look at it is Draymond's kind of like what Dennis Rodman was back on the Chicago team.
So true.
But
he was so good that you trying to ignore the eccentric personality.
Right, but you ignored it to a degree. But you had Rodman had Jordan. Jordan kept him in check.
Yeah.
Here you got Curry. Curry kind of keeps him in check. And Steve Kerr and Phil Jackson were kind of in the same too. They kind of let things go by the wayside, but they know they can keep that person in check.
Like the Phil Jackson quote when he missed practice because he was in Vegas, I think.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So he was like, "Hey, just don't miss practice.
Yeah.
He was like, I don't care what you do, just don't miss practice.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that strategically it makes more sense to move on from Clay with Jordan Poole playing as good as he's played.
And Andrew Wiggins being in there as well.
But that's my point is probably that it could also make more sense to get rid of Draymond and just expect Wiggins to kind of assume the role that Draymond Green was playing.
I don't know if he's that. I don't know if he has that physicality that Draymond has, though.
He doesn't have the download physicality, but I think you can find a power forward somewhere that can play that. Like to be honest, it would make a lot of sense if Julius Randle was the guy that they tried to trade Draymond and a pick or somebody for.
I mean, that would fit their style.
Go get a guy. Now Julius obviously is scoring 25 points for the Knicks or at least 20 points for the Knicks.
He's a 20 guy,
but he would have to kind of step down to a 10-point, per game kind of guy.
10 12 guy.
Yeah. So, that would kind of make a lot of sense. You got
the trade-off there is you go from a team that doesn't make the playoffs and is not relevant to a team that's a perennial.
Powerhouse.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing for a championship
every year.
The Clippers is another thing. You got to think about Damian Lillard and Paul George. I mean, that team's got to get blown up. This split's got to happen. Kawhi. Sorry. Yeah. That team's got to split up. They've got to basically just nuke the Clippers and start over.
Either that. So there was also a projection that if Kyrie goes out west and goes to LA, it made more sense to go to the Clippers than it did to go to the Lakers.
You're not going anywhere. You got two guys that don't know how to play together.
I don't know if LeBron would take him back.
Clippers, not Lakers.
No, I'm talking about.
Going back to the Lakers. Over Westbrook. Yeah, he'd take. Kyrie's a much better player than Westbrook.
Yeah, there was also that huge ego argument that they had in Cleveland.
But LeBron does that with everybody, though. But if I'm LeBron at this point in my stage, he's got to know that he's not going to win another championship with the team he's got now.
Oh, yeah.
So the only way to do that would be to unload Russell Westbrook and bring in someone like a Kyrie and put aside the differences, which LeBron can't do that either. But I mean, they're still going to argue, they're still going to fight. But Kyrie on that team versus Westbrook on that team. Completely different team. That's a much better team. I still don't think they win, but it's a much better team.
Yeah.
So,
good points.
But out of the West, I think Phoenix is done. I don't think Phoenix is going to go back as a 1 seed again. They're still going to make the playoffs. I don't think they're going to be there. I think you see Memphis at that 2-3 seed again.
Do you really?
Oh yeah, Memphis. I think Memphis is going to have another solid year. Ja Morant is the real deal. Ja Morant's going to carry that team.
He's the real deal. He's young. He reminds me so much of Westbrook in his playing style. I think that Memphis overachieved this year. I think they take a step back. They're a 5 or 6 seed next year. I think a healthy Denver team. I think if the Minnesota Timberwolves can put their shit together, obviously you'll see the Lakers probably get back into the playoffs next year. I think Dallas is in. I think Dallas, Golden State, Denver, Minnesota, probably even Utah as well, are all in better position to be ahead of Memphis next year, unless Memphis makes a big move, right? Like if Memphis goes and gets a Paul George, a Kawhi, a Dame, like can they go get a second superstar to play along with Ja Morant? Because then, I think there's a possibility they could be where they are. But I do think that Memphis took a little bit of advantage, overachieved this year, and I think they played harder in the regular season than some of these other teams that were trying to play conservative, stay healthy, and be ready for the playoffs. So, but I mean,
I can see where you're coming from. I can agree with those points.
I can be wrong. I've been wrong before.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, I just think next year it's going to be between Dallas, Golden State, and Memphis.
Okay. I think I'm ready to take my way too early. I think I'm going to take Denver. I think the Denver Nuggets with a healthy Jamal, a healthy Joker, adding a couple pieces, maybe even adding one of these small forwards like a Paul George or a Kawhi in the offseason to make themselves into or even a Kevin Durant into kind of this three-headed monster. I think the Denver Nuggets might have a real shot at being a champion next year.
I don't see Durant leaving, so I don't know if that's feasible, but I mean it could be. Like you said, you're wrong, I'm wrong sometimes. So.
Yeah.
But out of the West, I really think it's going to be between. I think it's going to come down to Golden State and Dallas again.
Okay.
And then if Golden State keeps their core, I'm going to go with Golden State again.
Okay. So Golden State, Denver, Milwaukee, and Boston. So 2 East, 2 West. One previous champion. Well, recently previous champion. So
the reigning champion.
The reigning champion. Yeah. So, all right. Well, let us know in the comments who you think is going to win the 2022-2023 NBA championship. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.